War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out Smackdowns, follow on IG+. It's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
All right, how's everybody doing? Play that music. That's wonderful.
It's so much better than the current one, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I like that entrance too. I like the new one. I don't think it's bad.
No, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, there's something about that one that, I don't know.
But you know what it is? Instances when because he gets that bad news.
Oh, yeah, the literal jumping out of the sky thing. I think he had to quit doing that. He might break it. Does he break it out like once a year at WrestleMania or something? I feel like he might do it like once a year.
I can't remember the last time he did that, actually.
Yes, we can. But enough talking about Rey Mysterio jumping out of a box.
Jumping out the sky.
This is the War Report brought to you by askthewarreport.com, the first and only dating site exclusively for fans of professional wrestling. My name is Vince Berry. I'll be your host for this evening. And of course, as I said, tagmeadate.com is where all the magic happens. We had a marriage. Marriage is a very, very... Anyway.
That's what brings us together.
Yes,
today.
It is. Sign up. It's free. Tagmeadate.com. This is the War Report, our companion podcast. Lots of stuff to talk about. I haven't been here. I have work that sometimes precludes me from coming, but I'm here now. And... yeah, I got a new setup, so if there are any sound issues, I can't blame. I got a new computer.
You sound pretty good.
There's a new webcam. It's the same microphone, but I have a new USB hookup. So everything is new. So if it's messed up, it's just because I'm an idiot and I did something wrong. I can't blame it on the equipment anymore. So that's where I am.
USB is your hookup. Holler if you hear you.
Ooh. I'm still trying to learn all the new stuff on the computer, and I'm going to try and learn, because Steve's got that OBS. I'm going to try and learn OBS. I don't know. I thought that was some sort of bowel syndrome before I learned what all this computer
Sounds like a disease.
How do you think I felt?
Oh, my God. Oh, we talked about that one. Who wasn't here? Was Steve not here the day that I talked about how he wanted to kill Ryan? It was just like... Don't send me an article. Just tell me how to fix it. Not that the article wasn't useful. Probably had some very good information in it.
There was pictures, diagrams.
But he wanted you to just verbally. Just wanted you to. So yes, that's what we've been up to the last couple of weeks, getting all of this new setup because Google is going to abandon Hangouts and YouTube's going to abandon Hangouts, and
it seems
the
like
sky is falling.
Putting it behind a paywall, actually.
Yes. Oh, that's the shitty new thing. They want you to pay for this service that's been free for the last 2 decades. Oh, God. It's like YouTube with everything is an ad now. They put so many ads on the actual YouTube videos.
Oh, it's obnoxious.
They want you to buy that monthly subscription, which then they jack the price up. It's like $11.99, $12.99 a month. Fuck that.
And then they offer just the music thing with the subscription on that as well.
Yeah, that's dumb.
And also for background play that
there used to
every
be a
other
whole,
app does.
Right, there used to be a whole bundle, not to get too deep in the weeds on this, there used to be a whole bundle for $100 a year, and it was a good deal. And I would probably still take it, but they don't have it anymore, and they went up on the prices, so fuck them. Anyway, thank you, Google, for making our lives more and more difficult every day as you acquire more and more of the internet. And then they just cut the live feed from my video. That's the next. It's just going to be a big red X. Anything that I say is just going to be static.
They found a person in India that looks like you.
Yeah, I'm just going to be replaced by Rupinder.
I
don't know what you guys are talking about. Roman Reigns is fine. He should be champion.
Also, YouTube is great as well as
Yes.
Google.
YouTube is great. I upvote on all 50 of my iPads that I have on a rack in front of me.
YouTube Red, great subscription, great price.
For real.
Please don't get Steve started on India.
Oh, yeah. By the way, in case anybody, I don't know how big of a reach we have on this podcast. If you are a web developer of any kind that is familiar with the social networking backends and such, PHP.
I think we're more looking
SQL.
for an app developer, correct?
Yeah, no, but we need the website. We need the back end of the website
Good point.
fixed
Sorry.
as well. So if you're,
I have somebody
Okay, good.
already. We're getting there. We're
what is their country of origin?
you damn sure know it ain't fucking India. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, I didn't.
This
think
stuff does not say you are here.
They took the money and
Virginia
ran.
too many times.
Yo, those guys took the money and ran. I didn't know elephants move that fast. You just
When they have
hopped
that much money, they do.
Yeah, they just hopped up. They took your bag of money and they just hopped up on the elephant. They're like, let's get out of here before he notices anything.
This stuff says you are fucked.
I swear to God, this is a podcast about wrestling. I'm sorry.
So Smackdown last week.
Oh,
SmackDown
Lord.
last week, yes, because tonight we have a whole slew of things happening on SmackDown. It's the last show on USA. I almost said Sci-Fi. Look at me. The last show on USA Network.
I thought it was CW.
Yeah, there you go. It was on My TV 9. But last one for USA Network tonight. But we'll go back last week, and then we'll catch up through Raw, and then what's going to happen tonight.
I wonder if they give them a middle finger on the way out.
The SmackDown fist just punches through, and it just turns into a middle finger.
That'd be awesome.
Hope you do well on Fox.
That would be
Go
so
fuck off.
great. They just paid The Rock to come out and flip. He's like, "This is my show." The Rock starts giving people middle fingers. It's not even Stone Cold. It's just The Rock giving middle fingers. Yeah, so that's it for USA Network. What happened last week? Fill me in, because I don't know if I watched or not.
Well, the big
No, I was
thing,
working
the
overnight.
the big story for SmackDown was that Kevin Owens came with a lawsuit to fire or to sue Shane for unlawful termination and something else. So that
Is it
was
safe
a
to
cool
say-
segment.
I need you and Eric to weigh in on this. Is Kevin Owens in storyline? Is he Jewish? And my cousin's a lawyer.
Shane did look like, oh shit, he's got something, kind of.
Yeah.
Shane sold. Yeah, I think I saw some clips. I didn't watch the whole show, but Shane sold it pretty well. It's just silly, like. Everybody was comparing him to Stone Cold. They're like, Kevin Owens is the new Stone Cold. He's doing a stunner. All this. Stone Cold never once went, well, I'm going to get my lawyer on you. Like, he would just go out and beat the shit out of Vince McMahon, pull a fake gun on him, make him piss his pants, do all this crazy shit, and then still wrestle in the main event. It's not, for those of you thinking that he's Stone, it's not quite Stone Cold.
It's the times.
We can't, he's not going to go out there.
I'm going to take my lawyer and sue you guys.
But there's a at least there's a story.
Yeah, there is a story.
Thank God for that.
Is Chairman here?
He's here, but he's muted.
Shit.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
it's been very quiet over there.
Just taking it all in, my brother. Taking it all in.
All
I
right.
guess so.
Actually, you know what? I think he stays muted sometimes because I think that maybe, like, he thinks there's feedback. But so far, I don't hear any feedback. We might have finally fixed all of our issues. After how many months? We might have finally fixed everything.
Holy shit.
Then we'll find a new one just to
Oh, yeah,
replace the old ones.
something's gonna happen. Oh, man. But no, we're all fixed.
My computer will just combust.
Yeah, so now, there's something going on where tonight, not to get all the way to SmackDown tonight, but this will tie back into last week because I need you to fill me in a little bit. Roman Reigns is going to have some sort of summit, like he had the Samoan summit, but this time it's going to be with Daniel Bryan.
An actual summit where...
Yes, and they're actually going to talk it out, I guess. He has something to say to him. I don't know.
I will tell you this. I absolutely love what they're doing with Eric Rowan. Because
Well, I mean,
you're
they're
starting
finally
to see...
using him.
Well, yeah, and you're seeing a side of him that you're just not used to seeing. You know,
and
where
they brought back Luke Harper.
right, who looks awesome, by the way.
I thought he was done.
Yeah, I mean there was talk that he was on his way out. Maybe this was like their last. Hey, re-sign with us. Kind of.
I think it's pretty cool too because normally before Luke Harper left, he was kind of the main guy, and Eric Rowan was kind of the muscle.
Right.
To say because they're both huge. You know what I mean?
True.
But now it's cool that they're giving burn to Eric Rowan too. And it's nice, bring them back. They're good.
They're real good. I agree. I'm a very big fan of those two.
And they're two guys who are better as a team than they are separately. Not that individually, because I think Luke Harper is a phenomenal wrestler.
Harper showed that on his own he could be a champion on his own.
He was within this much of being in a triple threat at WrestleMania in Orlando with Orton and Bray Wyatt. They this close, and I don't know why they didn't. Even if he didn't win it, but they just should have done it because he was. It was like 2016, 2017. He was wrestling the match of the night every night. He was working his ass off.
At 31, that ladder match for the IC title.
The fans wanted it. He was up. But what I'm saying is, there's something about when I don't know about the Bludgeon Brothers. Hopefully, they should can that name. But when
Thank God, that shit's fucking terrible.
Right, but when they were part of the Wyatt family, when they were tagging together as just like Harper and Rowan or whatever they wanted to call them. They work well together, and they're both big guys. It's not like the Revival works well together, but they're still kind of smaller guys. These are huge guys who wrestle like Kane. Kane is a very mobile, big guy. But
I don't know about that one.
He was mobile at the time. The time,
early Kane.
Early Kane took everything on his knees, and he still does.
But he can still take bumps. But he was mobile. He did a lot of jumps and dives. Like he was doing that stuff. He was known as the most agile big guy back then. Before the standard changed. Now the biggest mobile guys are Harper and Rowan, Keith Lee, and Dijak. And like guys
and Warbeard.
And Warbeard, which people holy fuck, people love that shit. So I think they're actually for the first time in several years utilizing talent that, Baron Corbin aside, deserves the push and are good enough to deserve them to necessitate that push.
Yes, but for how long?
I don't know.
That's the question,
Until
right?
they get,
because this is good for the story right now, but then what's going to happen? That's my problem.
Roman Reigns needs to go over and look strong.
Do you guys see any correlation between this stuff and Bray Wyatt at all?
Well, I will say he in the Firefly Funhouse segment this week on Raw, he said something that kind of made me think like he was referring to Rowan and Harper. He said something like, "I'm used to people deserting me," or something like that.
And then he attacked Braun. So I think that was where that was.
He also did send out an apology. I love the apologies.
Everything he does is
Twitter apologies.
They're hilarious.
Yeah. But so Harper Rowan, what's Daniel Bryan's situation? Is he?
I'll be transitioning to face.
That's what I was thinking. He's going to be a baby face because he's going to tag. He's going to be the guy that tags Roman.
It looks like that's where it's headed.
Either that, or he's pulling a Flair on Sting Horseman style.
That could be it.
Now that would be something.
Be something different.
Well, for us, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Sting is going to be sitting at home going, "No, Roman, what are you doing? But stop!" He's like texting him. He's like, "How do I?" Sting at 59 years old. How do I use Twitter? Roman must know what's going on.
I've seen this before.
It is foretold in the texts of yore.
Sting has
1983.
Sting has his assistant right there doing it for him. He just says, "Hey, you, type this."
How many times was Sting turned on by Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen? How many times?
I counted 68 times.
Well, we need one more then.
Yeah. The season opening of Raw or Smackdown, have Flair just attack him from behind.
Shake hands with him. You're gonna be a Horseman brother, and then forearm. Yeah,
So one of the other big deals, Corbin, obviously King Corbin was having his coronation, and Gable came out and destroyed it, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, shades of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, but that was pretty much. But that was pretty much it. I mean, you know, the only
I think, SmackDown.
Of course, we got Brock challenging for the title.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's going to happen on
that handshake
on
to the F5 was fantastic. That's what television's about.
I agree. That was great. But see now he's coming back to Raw too. Like, what's the point of that?
Because he's Brock Lesnar.
I get that, but
the ratings should be. They should have pulled him off Raw to focus the ratings on SmackDown. If that's.
I think it's just for the season opening, and we don't have the draft yet, so you can swap them wherever you need them after the draft.
I guess they said technically the wild card rule stays until the draft, and then the day of the draft it's done.
Oh, I see that. I didn't know.
I don't think it's official, but it seems like that's what they're playing with.
Yeah, I
don't think the wild card even fucking matters at this point. That shit's ridiculous.
Probably not, but
unfortunately, nothing matters. That's the trouble. There are very few things that matter right now.
Other than us getting Pyro back, that's important.
You know what? I'll take it.
That's great. I don't know what pushed that, but I'm glad that's coming back.
Heyman or.
Well, I think it looks pretty terrible if you guys see a giant guy come out, right? He does his taunt, and then there's no pyro in the background.
Yeah, especially Brock.
Oh, when Brock jumps up and there's just nothing.
Nothing. It's so stupid.
Or Rusev.
It looks like
he really gets into that.
It looks like when my 4-year-old gets upset and throws a tantrum.
Yeah, if there was pyro behind that, you'd probably take it a little more seriously.
Definitely, much more serious.
Rusev Mercury.
Yo, with that mustache though, yeah. And is he
isn't the...
He's not.
No. I was going to ask you, Vince, if you are the father of Rhea Canellis' child.
Oh, God. I would listen. That's not. Everybody would. If I got Maria pregnant, I'd have goddamn parade and skywriters. Everybody would know.
It would not be a mystery.
I
just get billboards.
I think I heard something that they're gonna do like a Maury Povich, you are not the father type of deal.
Yeah, Maury's actually going to be on there.
Maury
is that right?
offered. Yeah, Maury has offered by Twitter.
That's fucking awesome.
I want them to bring back some old superstars. Just some random, like, why are they there?
I want the Iron Sheik to come out and humble them.
I think it should be revealed that Vince McMahon is the father. He comes out, I still got the grapefruits.
I'm plowing her with my genetic jackhammer.
He just comes out and kicks my intellectual expert. He's stomping on him. He's like, you decided to get signed and go right to rehab. Fuck you, I'm gonna fuck your wife. And he's just stomping him. Like, just a representation of what he did in real life. Here, fuck you, you're not gonna go to NXT. You're just gonna sit on 205 Live, you stink. Like, what did he do? What did Mike Bennett do to Vince McMahon? Did he sneeze on him one time? I gotta know. Did he park in his parking spot? Mike Bennett did something. Like he left the seat up. I don't know. Some minor infraction.
I got it. When he first came back, Vince welcomed him. He sneezed and then shook his hand without wiping his hand off.
Oh man, and that's it. He just shook. He's like, well, at least he shook my hand, but he sneezed on it. Yeah, no, that was it.
Just over.
I mean, it's definitely got to be something because
it could just be his face.
I'm just
sometimes
tired of
some of
this,
his face is just bothering me.
Because I've known Mike for a very long time, and there's always this wait and see attitude when a new storyline starts and it looks like it's going to be a little shitty. The War Raiders actually turned out okay, despite the fact that Rude and Ziggler won the tag team titles at that thing. But anyway. So that was when we were like, what's happening with the War Raiders?
Well, look, now they're having matches with the OC and looking awesome.
Exactly. So there's something to say about waiting. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But every week I'm waiting. I'm like, this has to end with Mike one-upping somebody, right? Like
he's going to go over. And that kid
has
could
to
wrestle.
go.
There has
He
to
could
be. There
he could
has to
wrestle,
be.
man.
I've been saying it forever that in the end there's going to be a payoff
But that's
for
not-
Mike.
I'm just,
There's got to be, because if not, Mike needs to really seriously consider trying to get out of his contract and go to Cody and go to
I
AEW,
would
because
say so. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I mean, shit. If you could have Bennett and Maria leave, go to AEW, have them pick up
That's true.
what's his face? I'm going blank. Taven,
Taven.
and then reform the
put Dale
Kingdom,
Ryan and-
right? And then reform the Kingdom over in AEW.
And they'll have some legally distinct name that's not quite the Kingdom. You know?
the Monarchy.
Yeah, there you go.
I was going to say the Empire, but WWE would probably sue over that.
So would Fox, because of
They
the
should
show
call it
Empire.
the Manarchy.
There you go.
And then take the heat from the man.
So
Get
listen,
sued by Becky Lynch.
Mexico.
listen. I want to bring something up.
Yeah.
Before we get into Raw and some other things, we got to talk NXT also. Last week, it was just Ryan and I on the show, and I don't know if any you guys should go back and listen. But one of the things that we spent the entire show trying to figure out is what you guys need from WWE at this point. You know, we brought up some valid points as to all the things that are positive, and the fact that Ryan and I actually thought Raw last week was a good show, and that pretty much everybody within the chat and all over social media was shitting on the show. And I'm just at the point where I don't even think there's anything they can do that's going to make people, you know, like, it's never going to go back to 2 hours. We need to get over that. It is what it is. But I think, you know, like, people were shitting on that Raw. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, we want more Bray Wyatt. We got more Bray Wyatt during that whole show than we've had since his return. He was, you know, they broke up the Firefly Funhouses. We never had more than one Firefly Funhouse. We had 3. Then we had the end of the show, which was great. So, but it broke everything up per hour. There were some really solid matches on the show. We're just trying to figure out, you know, it's like Amanda thought it was brutal. I don't even think she made it through this week's Raw. Eric, you've obviously been very vocal. Vince, you've been pretty quiet on the subject. So, and, you know, the chairman, he's been a little vocal also in the negative. And I'm just trying to figure out, like, what do they need to do at this point? I just feel like there's no happy medium anymore.
I think we're in transition. I think, you know, for so many years, we've seen the same product, kind of the same storyline, just revolving over and over and over, right? And now that we have, you know, Heyman taking over and starting to change things in slow ways, we're not sure. You know, we always wanted all these things, and then we get it, and we're like, well, maybe that's why we didn't have it in the first place. You know what I mean? And I think that transitional time is what's going to really determine whether or not we like the product or not. But
See,
I agree with you on that. You know, we do have good matches, and that they're putting up the show. The writing is getting better. You know, I think overall, if you look at it from, how do I say, an entertainment perspective, it's getting better. But as far as a wrestling fan, like, I guess the deep-rooted, old-school wrestling fan, it's not 100% for me yet.
See, I get that, but, like, my thing is, like, people are you know, nitpicking and saying, you know, this segment and that segment. We picked 2 segments that were questionable. 2 segments that we were like, all right, you know, this is kind of shit. Out of a 3-hour show doesn't ruin the show. And I think some of the matches were very solid matches. You know, we had more wrestling matches than usual. You know, so I just feel like they are trying and they are doing things, and no matter what they do, the haters are just going to keep hating on the product. And I just, you know, it was like, to me, to Ryan, as an example, we actually really enjoyed last week's show. I got to be honest, I didn't enjoy this week's show as much as last week's, but I still thought it was a decent show. So
I think as long as people are talking about it, then it's doing its job. But at the same time, what's the next level? Like, how do we one-up ourselves?
yeah, I get that. Eric, go ahead. What do you jump in?
Actually, that's a good point. People are still talking about it. I don't know. Overall, I just thought it was hot garbage, but.
But see, that's what I'm saying. What about it is such garbage at this point? Like, what is it?
Like, well, it's hard because first of all, I didn't watch because I refuse to watch anything with him because he's boring as fuck. So I didn't even watch.
I think you missed out on a great match.
I don't care.
Wait, who did he say? Because I heard him cut it. Oh, it actually was a decent match.
Corbin can put on some decent matches. We got to give him a shot.
I couldn't care less. Like last. Oh. Let me mention this real quick. Lacey Evans, which is another person that I turn the TV off when she's on, and I turned it back on in between commercials and shit, and I saw the worst sharpshooter I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you know what though? But Lacey Evans got pulled over and stayed in character.
Yeah, that was
which was fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
Lacey Evans is fantastic.
I still can't do it with her. I can't.
But see, that's the thing. So there were two things so far that you hated within a 3-hour show.
Well, what else was there? I don't even remember.
That might be more of the problem.
You know what it is? Nothing's memorable. Nothing's must see anymore.
Oh, see, that's horseshit to me. Now, because
I agree with you, Steve.
Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, first of all, that alone is worth tuning in.
Part of the damn show.
Well, yes, now that we will agree on. We will agree on that. The Fiend is the best part of the show, hands down.
Yes, but hold on, guys.
But there's so many other good matches that are going on, and as wrestling fans, we have to appreciate the actual wrestling matches.
Yeah, that elimination match was great.
Besides that, though,
go ahead, Sam. Go ahead.
we can't become desensitized as fans from watching it for 30, 40 years. Let's be honest. What have we not seen yet? So to say that is kind of tough because it can't always be must see.
Right.
It has to be what do you want to see out of it.
Right.
So good matches, good stories, right? And you have to give a chance for these new characters to play out. You can't just write somebody off because they were on TV for 4 weeks, have one quick push, and then they botched a couple moves, and then now you write them off.
Right.
That's the problem.
I've always
That's been the problem for the last 10 years. And if we keep that same trend, it's never going to get better.
That's
you got to give them a shot.
I mean, I think when AEW is full force and everything else, I think you're gonna and the changes are happening. But I mean, you got teams like the Revival. I mean, listen, you got the OC now. You got Anderson and Gallows getting more TV time than they've had since they were brought back. You've got Rusev now back in the mix, who's still great in the ring. Like, there's just a lot of good things happening. Bobby Roode and Ziggler, no matter what you guys say, they're a great fucking team, and it works.
They work off each other.
Yeah, but it would have been.
They don't need the belts.
It's not that they're a bad team. It's that they were introduced like 5 minutes before the fucking match and then beat a bunch of established tag teams to get the shot. It was like...
Oh, you mean like Nikki, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, same shit?
Right, but that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of that going on where you have legitimate tag teams that are formed, like the Kabuki Ukis or whatever the fuck. And then they don't do anything with them.
You just can't Uki no more.
Yeah, and then you got a Kabuki.
Does that have to do with Paige getting surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, there are established tag teams, and then you come up with a mismatched tag team of singles people because those two singles people are popular, or you can work with them or whatever. Like Ziggler and Roode, those guys are over. They're a point where they're pretty much over all the time if you use them right. So I get why
you're trying to give them time on TV. You don't have anything to write for them. Think about it. You put Ziggler in everything. You put Roode in everything.
Right. It was just it was the way that they introduced the team that was kind of
the introduction could have been much better.
It could have
better than Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan.
Yeah. Yes.
They did. Listen, they did the same thing with Sheamus and Cesaro.
They've been doing the same thing with everybody. They're just giving them shots.
They have, and it works.
Yeah, but then
it doesn't work
at least like Sheamus and Cesaro developed a nickname, and like a team name, and they had a dual entrance, and like
you had the build up with the best of what was it 7.
Exactly. So it took them time, and it gave them a chance, and then they came up with their own shit.
They even did it with Gable and Roode too.
Yes, yeah, they started. I mean, even though it was Gable kind of aping off of what Rude
what Rude was
does.
doing.
But even if they took like Rude and Ziggler and they're backstage and Otis bumped into Dolph and spilled his coffee, and then fucking Rude jumped in and helped Dolph out, and they picked on him and beat him up a little bit, and then the big guy came in and made a save, and they're like, we're going to have a tag team match, and then that's their first tag team match together.
Yeah.
Hey, those guys were actually pretty good. They worked together, and then there was a segment next week. Hey, man, we worked really good together. You want to try this thing again? There's a... and then, like...
Well, nobody makes me spill my coffee.
Right, no, who cares? I mean, I'm using the coffee thing. I think I probably had Alexa Bliss on the brain when you mentioned it from earlier, but it could be some simple bullshit like that. So many
I
bumps
always
in
have
the hallway.
Alexa Bliss on my brain.
I was just going to say that.
Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But you build up a team like that, and then all of a sudden you call up, they come up with like glorious perfection, and then they have the music for the team, and they both come out, and he's, Dolph is shaking his hips while Bobby Roode is spinning on his thing, and it's like ridiculous and over the top. Like, the seeds are there.
The fact that you just came up with all that on the fly, you're a writer. That's the problem. Can't you just start sending that shit in? The headquarters is right there in Stanford. We can go there right now.
Yeah,
Somebody
let's go.
Somebody clip this off of Twitch and send it to Triple H.
Just make sure we get our royalties, boys. Those royalty checks come once in a blue moon.
5 minutes. 5 minutes to establish your new tag team over the course of 3 weeks. It's so simple, but you're just like, no, these guys are going to be in the team now. Oh, they won.
Hope there's Japan coming back too.
So let's look at this. So to Steve's point, last week we had the OC versus the Viking Raiders and Cedric Alexander.
Great match.
Fantastic match.
Great match.
Yeah.
And OC went over, right? Fantastic. I know you guys hated it, but Corbin and Chad Gable, amazing match.
Phenomenal match.
Amazing.
Phenomenal match.
And my guy Corbin went over, as I said he would. Who else? Then we had Mike Kanellis versus Ricochet. It was a quick match, of course, but still always looking good. Right? Keep it going. You got some Bray Wyatt stuff. You got Rusev with Mike Kanellis again, so Kanellis gets squashed.
Yep.
So that's fantastic. So our boy Kanellis is getting some time on TV.
Oh, EC3 got fucked this week.
Oh, that was a squash and a half.
But see, that's what
Oh
I'm
my
saying.
God.
Like, you just listed a bunch of, that was a solid...
It gets better, Steve. To your point, it gets better. Then you
Talk
had
about it.
Kane and R-Truth.
Awesome.
And Kane wins the belt. And
Awesome.
he's the mayor of Tennessee.
The first ever.
I love his. I still
That shit
got
was
it.
fantastic. Then you got Cesaro and Mysterio put on a hell of a match.
Hell of a match.
There was only two little botches there, but that was fine. Then you get Bray Wyatt again. Then you get Sasha and Bayley versus Alexa and Nikki Cross.
Which was
Decent.
also a great match because
It was decent.
Alexa almost became the 24/7 champion also during that match.
That was decent.
Now she has an opportunity to.
Yeah.
Then Lacey Evans, I just like to see her, so we could just skip over that.
I always skip over that.
Seth Rollins versus Robert Roode, that was decent.
It was a decent match.
That definitely was a decent match. And what else do we got? And then the Fiend ends the show. That's a solid show.
That's a
an 8 out
solid
of 10.
show. That's what
8
I'm
out of 10.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
On paper, though, it's a solid show.
I thought it was executed well.
there.
No, I thought it was executed well. I do.
Well, execution is everything, and I think that's what it is.
Listen, I want to shift gears for a minute because I want to talk about my biggest takeaway from Raw.
Yep.
And
I honestly thought you were going into a Blue Chew ad just then.
that's for later.
Just like, hold on, I want to take a minute. Uh-oh, he's getting for real here. Somebody's
That's
getting
after
paid.
hours.
No, this is for real though, and this is something that blew my mind, and I wanted to talk about this because I have very mixed emotions. So,
What happened?
The Miz on Raw made the announcement that Hulk Hogan is going to be on Miz TV,
Oh, yeah.
and Hulk Hogan got booed.
It was
I was
good.
going to ask if everybody heard that.
Yeah,
I heard it.
It was you couldn't fucking miss it. Like, it was overwhelming boos, and I'm sitting back and I'm saying, "Oh my God, this is Hulk fucking Hogan! Like, this is the Babe Ruth of WWE." And people are booing at the idea that he's going to be on Raw next week.
They were in San Francisco, and they had those two gentlemen there. Two African-American males putting things over. And then you mentioned Hulk Hogan.
We're
What do you
not.
guys think?
We're not over that already. I mean,
I never say my brothers with a hard R, brother.
I mean, are we? We're not over this. I mean,
know it should be. It should
like,
be so over.
I thought we're over this. Like he did it. What his apology tour? He's back. The WWE felt it was okay to bring him back. Like you can't associate WWE not with Hulk Hogan. There would be no WWE as far as I'm concerned if there was no Hulk Hogan. And and now you have the man coming on Raw. Like I'm pretty fucking excited, and I'm hearing boos, and it's like, listen, I know I know we fucked up. You know, it's not a perfect world. We make mistakes. You know, time heals wounds. You never. I'm not saying you ever forget, but you move on. And
do you not feel like? Listen, I definitely it's Hulk Hogan. Let's be honest. Hollywood is everything, right? I just have to. I feel personally that it's like force feeding Hogan every random shot you get, and I think that's more the problem, and that's where the boo came from. Probably not so much of that older shit. But
See,
I don't know.
The problem here's the real issue is that they lost a whole generation of what could be considered legends because they pushed John Cena so hard and killed everybody else's push. Like, so they have to skip a generation. They can't. They have to go back to like the
Didn't they also
Attitude
do that
Era.
with
and
Hogan?
before. Yeah, well, yeah, and that's why the only legends from the new generation era are HBK, Bret Hart, and Nash. And it wasn't even as Diesel because Diesel stunk, and then he suddenly got good by being Kevin Nash in WCW. So you can't even really count Diesel. It was just HBK and Shawn, or HBK and Hitman keeping the company alive during that era. Maybe like a Yokozuna, but he's dead.
Throw Undertaker in there.
Yeah, but so there's only a handful of guys you can bring back from the new generation era, a couple from the Attitude Era that would get any reaction. The only guy you can bring back from that other era is John Cena, because it's like John Cena and Kurt Angle are the only two from that era. Benoit's gone, fucking Guerrero's gone. Ray is still a full timer. There's nobody that's a legend unless you go back to 1999 and earlier, even into the 80s. Because there's no other, like, is Ted DiBiase Jr. going to come out and get a great reaction? Are we just going to bring back fucking Lance Cade? I'm sorry, he's dead. But you know what I mean? Like,
I
there's
would be
no...
impressed if we got Lance Cade.
There's no legends from that era aside from John Cena. So when they try and bring in a nostalgia act, there's nobody to get from that point in time. They have to go back.
But I sit back and I say to myself, this is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like this, I
was a little baffled myself.
Like
That's indicative of how he's being used, though. Also.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, fucking A. Like, at this point, if he's gonna get booed, I hope he comes back and he reforms an NWO and he runs it like a manager type deal as a heel, and does a new generation of NWO or something and do something crazy. You got Eric Bischoff and Heyman there. You can't tell me that thought hasn't been thrown around.
Is it bad that my first thought was it should be all black guys?
That's kind of fucked up, dude.
Could you imagine?
What is this going to be the NWO Nation of Domination?
Damn.
We swear the end is not Sanford.
I got it. The NWO, I'm really sorry.
I'm so sorry.
We could have while Hogan's getting his cortisone shots in his back, like an army of black guys outside the office, just standing there waiting.
God. That would be such heat, though, wouldn't it? If he was
That'd be
managing a
great.
team of black guys. Like, I'm sorry. Sam. This is why I wouldn't get the job with WWE, because I'd sit there and pitch something like that, and not even as a goof, just to get the conversation going. And they'd be like, "Oh, we can't listen to this fucking guy." But
I don't think that's the truth. I think if you have the right, Heyman will definitely listen to you. Absolutely.
I think.
I don't know if you'll get it approved though. That shit will not go over.
It would be an interesting wrinkle if they did have a team. Like, what if Hogan came out next week and decided that they were going to make him the manager, Jimmy Hart style, of the Street Profits, and the Street Profits come out with red and
That
yellow
shit
solo
would be
cups.
fantastic.
Like,
They could get that over, though.
well, I think they could, but that's what I'm saying. It would be. an
I think they're
interesting
over
dynamic.
even
Like,
without Hogan. Imagine with
Oh,
him.
they are. But
I have to
mean,
say,
like,
I really enjoyed them and together briefly.
I didn't. doesn't make
I
sense.
thought they played off well. I don't think for a team, but they.
Miz is such a
thing, though. It was
such a
just
dorky
one-off
white
thing.
guy.
Yeah, it did not gel at all. That was weird.
But that's what I think that's supposed to be it. He's like the it's like the Ms. and Mrs. whatever the fuck.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Miz,
that's what I did.
He's like the dad. He's like
Miz
the
is
awkward
decent
white
on
dad.
Miz is decent in the ring, and he's great on the mic. So that guy, he's solid. So I don't know, putting him with those guys didn't work
And
out.
apparently he's also well respected in the African American community. They enjoyed talking to him. He couldn't dance. He couldn't dance at all. Yeah, they held that for like way too long. Like that was. Did anybody else notice that the dance just went on for like an extra 30 seconds more than it should have gone? I feel like
Yeah.
and they called out for those of you who were playing along at home. I think it was Montez said Kerwin roll the tape, and he was
He
talking.
did say that.
Yeah, he said Kerwin. That's Kerwin Silfies, the director of the show. So they're actually acknowledging the backstage people, which is kind of interesting.
As long as it's not
love
Kerwin
it.
White.
I love it.
Yeah, it's not Kerwin. Hell no.
Break down that third wall.
I mean, it is a TV show, so it'll be kind of hard not to mention the director if you're doing something like that.
Yeah, but what did
I
he
think
say?
that,
I forgot the term he said. What was it?
Yeah, he used like the B-roll or the something.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
All I know is if I'm watching Raw next week and Hulk Hogan's music hits and he gets booed out of the building, I don't know how I'm going to feel.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Let's Ryan, or someone who's better with Google than me.
Yes.
Where is Raw next week? Let's play the game of regional politics. Woo!
I love regional politics.
Yeah.
If it's in Toronto, you know Hogan's getting a pop.
It's in Arizona,
There you
Phoenix.
Phoenix?
It's in
Do they like
home
him in
of-
Phoenix?
the home of Sheriff Joe Arapo or whatever. So I think that he might be good. He might be okay.
I don't know.
You guys remember Sheriff
Yeah,
Joe?
I remember that.
He
Train, yeah.
dresses his prisoners in pink. The jumpsuits are pink instead of orange. He has
I'm
his
actually
sleeping
in
tents.
Next week for work, so maybe I'll stop by
You should
SmackDown.
go stop by and hold up a sign. Let us know you're there.
Tag me a date.
For Sheriff Joe. He'll appreciate it.
So put up a sign for Sheriff Joe.
I'll be the guy that gets arrested when they boo Hogan because I'll lay somebody out.
Yeah, I think he'll probably get a good reaction there. I mean, I don't know.
He
It's
got
hard-
booed in
it's hard
San
to say.
Fran. That's
right,
crazy.
he got booed in. Well, it's San Francisco. I mean, come on.
And Flair is going to be there too, right?
Be
They
nice.
voted for-
Be
they
nice,
voted
Vince.
for
Be
Nancy
nice.
Pelosi. They voted for Nancy Pelosi.
Oh. You hurt my soul there.
That's the only thing I can say. That's why they booed Hulk Hogan. Just draw the dots however you need to connect the dots.
Nancy Pelosi is over and Hogan goes under.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a correlation. Blue states, red states. Where is Hulk Hogan over? We could chart this. I'm sure we could chart this.
Maybe she can do a better leg drop. I don't know.
I think she would turn into dust.
If Nancy Pelosi dropped a leg on Bernie Sanders during the next debate, I'll fucking vote for her. There you go.
There. There you go.
It's the only
Challenge
way I vote for her.
accepted.
I need the full Hulk up though.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. She rips the blouse off and
I
throws her
might
leg
have-
into the crowd.
I would be blind then.
Yeah, and the only Kamala I'd vote for is the actual Kamala.
Yes.
He's in a wheelchair. I wouldn't vote for
I
Kamala.
need. We need Kamala for president 2020.
Oh my god.
I vote
Anyway.
for Papa Shango.
Yes. Oh, I think he would be the best because then he could
I'd
just
vote
make a
for him.
voodoo doll. Like he'd make a Putin voodoo doll and it'd be all over. Fuck. Nobody thought of that? Why didn't we hire a voodoo guy?
Hey,
We
so-
need a voodoo guy for president.
We're
Tag me a date and wild tangents.
Ultimate Warrior.
Oh no, he could never run for president. That's the fact that he's
No, I'm saying as the
There are
president.
moments in life when everything changes in the blink of an eye.
Ooh.
Tonight, don't blink.
That was such a good intro.
We will show you that we are not just the future, we are the now. There is something special in the atmosphere here. This is passion. This is pride. Groundbreaking, defiant, undisputed, and damn sure unapologetic. our kind. We are here. We are live. RNXT. Let us show you.
I think
They did such a great job.
that was a great entrance.
Damn right.
Hunter, I think, always wanted to be the front man of a metal band to say the shit like that. And he's like, "Are
Yeah.
you ready? Let's get to it. We're gonna melt your face off."
You know what? At the end of the day, Triple H knows how to get the crowd pumped up and ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, get the guys in the back ready to go. And for their first live show, it was a home run. I wasn't thrilled with the whole fact that it was an hour live, but then another hour you had to go to the network. Like, if you're
That's
gonna,
only for a couple of weeks.
is that right? Okay, so
It's because of USA shows that have to finish running.
all right, that's fine.
That
then,
makes
then,
sense.
then I can get over it. But the matches we did have on the live show were absolutely fantastic. It kicked off with the Fatal 4-Way for #1 contendership for the women's title. It's the women are great, man. Candice LeRae took the win, and she looked great. Mia Yim, she looked great. The Asian one, she's nuts. She's another.
Yeah.
I would love to see her and Asuka
Io
at some
Shirai
point.
is awesome.
Yeah, I mean they're all really good.
And Bianca
Yeah.
Belair.
I love the
Bianca
hair.
she stole the show with that one. Holy shit.
She was great. But stealing the show, Candice LeRae. I mean, she did her thing.
Well deserved.
I just think she's very good in the ring. I just think she's so bland. They got to give her a mic, and she's got to get a gimmick. The whole,
You see, now that I actually agree with you. I do agree with you. There's like
give
no.
her something. She's so good. She's like
ju-
Ricochet.
Yes, I
He's
agree.
so good, but he just can't fucking talk on the mic.
Well, but Ricochet's got the gimmick though. Ricochet's got the whole superhero thing.
Yeah,
With
He's not a
Ricochet,
superhero. He sounds like a fucking dummy.
well, that's the thing. Ricochet needs a manager. He needs a mouthpiece. I think that would solve that problem because
I'm just tired of the mouthpieces. Can we train them to be their own mouthpieces, please?
you know
man,
what
listen,
though with Ricochet, it's the voice. It's the voice. It's the voice. You're
So
not.
deep in his fucking voice, somebody punch him in the throat.
Oh, they can do what they did with Nails. Remember Nails?
Oh God, yeah.
I'll get you, boss.
Mr. Ben remembers Nails.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have him have a whiskey before every match. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I don't
Have
know,
them just start smoking like 3 packs a day.
Yeah,
He'll be
the
fine.
old Miley
Yeah,
Cyrus
that's what you want.
approach.
That's what you want Ricochet doing, so he can't fly around the ring anymore because he can't breathe.
You know, I don't want to sell anybody out here, but I got a really quick funny story. Like 10 years ago, literally, I was working a show in upstate New York, and Awesome Kong was on it, and it was like 1 or 2 matches before she was supposed to go out and wrestle, and she's in full gear, as they say, all of her wrestling gear on, and she was out the back, smoking a cigarette. Somebody looked at her and was like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm getting my lung exercises in." And she took a fucking drag of the cigarette and just kept smoking. Nobody questioned it. I was like, and I guess maybe, I don't know if she still smokes, but that was the
Are you
time.
going to question her?
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. She just, I gotta get my lung exercises in.
That's fucking funny.
Right in the face.
Oh, she's the fucking warfare queen. She's awesome.
She is. And she turned from a great wrestler to a great actress. But I figured that's the first thing I thought of.
That's fantastic.
Somebody smoking.
Sometimes you need that cigarette makes a difference though. When your nerves are up or you're stressed, you don't know.
If you're
Wasn't there a whole gimmick with the Big Show when the Giant was in WCW? Like,
Yes, it was like right before he left.
Yeah.
He
Come
was
down
like
to the ring
unmotivated.
smoking.
He would come into the ring smoking, and the idea was they were going to try and like whip him back into shape. Didn't happen. He left. He went to WWF and became the Big Show.
The corporate titan,
And then
Paul White.
yeah, and then R-Truth. He smoked a cigarette indoors in the United Kingdom, and they all chanted, "That's illegal, Adam." Like that's gonna fucking like that's.
Didn't he put it out on Morrison or something?
He blew smoke in his face.
Yeah.
I don't know if he put it. He might have put it out. It was still like the PG era. I don't think he put it out.
Yeah, I don't think that.
But that was like a thing, and then it became like R-Truth getting heat for smoking cigarettes in like 2014 was definitely a thing. I don't know why. They thought that would be like, ooh, boo this guy. We've watched too many Truth ads.
Next week's with AEW, right?
Next week's a loaded week. You've got
but with that being said, I want
you cut out a little bit.
AEW and NXT. Dusty Rhodes would be so proud of what's going on. All his NXT kids and his actual kids,
Yeah. No,
God, Dusty is smiling up there, man.
Where would Dusty go, actually, to put a hypothetical?
Dusty's he's not even smiling up there. He's in the middle of the ring laughing his ass off right now.
He's dancing with Sapphire right now.
Yeah, man, I don't know where he would go, hypothetically speaking, because I think he would always have a job with the WWE if he chose to keep it that way. But if he perceived that his son was being mistreated in some way, as he's been known to do before with his own booking, where if he felt that he wasn't being booked well, or if he felt that Dustin wasn't being booked well, if he thought that it was such a big offense, I could see him leaving and going with them. It would certainly help him out, but I also think that there's still Cody wouldn't, if Dusty was still with us, wouldn't push him to go one way or another if he felt that he was.
I don't see Cody doing that. It's just kind of curious.
No, I don't, and I think there's a certain amount of loyalty to the WWE and the position that he had at NXT and the loyalty that he felt to those kids. So he would definitely be in a tough spot.
Because when you think about NXT, other than Triple H, you think Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, or Bill DeMott.
Bill DeMott.
Or Tensai.
Yeah. He was the head trainer.
Or Sarah Del Rey or something.
Well, she's still a head trainer over there.
Or Shawn Michaels.
I just think overall this Raw. This Raw. I still thought it was a decent Raw, but I didn't love this week's Raw as much as last week's. I don't really know why. And it could have just been that I was more tired maybe than the week prior, because it is a long show. But
3 hours is tough, regardless on how good the show is.
I don't remember anything being bad.
It's actually the same outline as the week prior.
Yeah.
The Viking Raiders versus Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
Which was a great match. Great match.
And we just saw that. So we'll watch it again. Right?
You're going to get it once more at the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that because the matches have been great. I can watch the War Raiders all day long.
They used to wrestle each other in Japan all the time, those two teams. So
Then we get the Firefly Funhouse. Then we get Sasha Banks and Becky. Then we get Rusev squash EC3, which was fantastic. Then you got Sasha Banks versus Nikki Cross, same shit as last week. What else we got? We got Mysterio for a second. We got The Miz and the guys. Lacey Evans and Ember Moon was decent.
Yeah, now that's the other thing, too. What's going on with Ember Moon? I can't tell you the last time I remember her winning a match.
I know.
She's the one that dropped her out.
And she's great. She's very good. I love the gimmick. She's great in the ring. She's decent on the mic. I don't know what it is, but they're not giving her any kind of love. She puts on great matches.
I think after that table for 3 shit, I think that was it for her.
Really? What happened on table for 3?
What did she do wrong on that? I saw it. There was nothing wrong with that.
No, I think she made a couple of comments that you could kind of read into a little bit,
I was just going to say
any specific comments that you can recall? Because I don't remember hearing any.
Well, if you guys remember when Ambrose was on, he basically ruined his life after saying that shit to Stone Cold. It was a one-on-one with Stone Cold.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. That whole podcast was bad, though.
No, I didn't think it was bad. I just thought, Ambrose shot himself in the foot, basically stating that he doesn't have to wrestle anymore because he's already world champion.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So that literally ended his career, and he's an idiot for doing that. I just felt like Ember was really talking about how, her and Alexa came up, which is great, but how she doesn't care which side she wrestles on. I can't remember the exact things, but something I read into there, I was like, there's something off there. I don't know. I'm going to do my research and get back to you guys.
Yeah, because I would love to, because we're deep into conspiracy theories right now and black helicopters and subscribe to InfoWars, everybody. They're turning the freaking frogs gay.
I can't believe you call them black helicopters. Why can't they be brown helicopters?
They identify as Apache.
My people are Apaches.
But
Whoa,
no,
whoa.
I'm deep. If you think there's a conspiracy where she got, because I just assumed, and I hate to be that guy, is that traditionally WWE does not really book their African American talent to the level of some of their other races. So I just thought it was that.
She moved up quick.
She
So
did,
you
but then
can't
she
say
leveled
that.
off. Right, she moved up quick, but then she leveled off.
Yeah.
So I wonder what if there's something. I'm curious, man. Look
Yeah,
that up.
but everybody eventually levels off. They have to come up with another way to be interesting. They have to get in the face of the right people all the time. They got to fight for this spot. You know this backstage shit is not easy. It's not for everybody.
Right.
You could be a great wrestler. You could have a great gimmick. You could be good on the mic. But if
Look at Asuka.
Asuka's fantastic, but she can't talk, so she's useless.
Yeah.
And her English has not gotten any better either.
And they never will.
No,
I
I
don't.
mean, there's.
But you know what?
there's
If
just
she
a
yells in
certain point-
Japanese, I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
When Shinsuke says "come on," the world goes fucking nuts, and they jobbed him
That's
out.
true.
He doesn't
I still
say
think
anything in English. He just says "come on," and that's it.
It's true.
Yeah,
I
mean,
That's
love
all he
that
needs
though.
to do. That
I
shit is
love
awesome.
it. I love it.
Or is that knee to face?
Yeah, that's
Talk
true.
about need a face. He killed Ricochet last night.
Oh.
With that.
Yeah, he did.
That shit was brutal.
And that's great. I mean, those are the
That
kind
was
of
another
guys you
great
want
match,
wrestling.
though.
Yeah, that was a good elimination match.
Surprised that Mysterio won it though.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't expected as far as.
No, and I think that's pretty neat that he did win it. And
I mean,
don't-
how many more title matches is he gonna get?
Exactly. That's why it's kind of cool. But it's also, you hate to look at it and go, oh shit, he's gonna run right into the fucking Fiend at the end of Raw next week, because the pattern seems to be Bray attacks somebody else that's not Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins wets himself a little, and then we go to commercial.
At the end of Raw, he did take out the Fiend for a minute there. Couple stomps
Yeah,
off
did
air.
you see what they're doing on the house shows?
Yeah, I did see that.
Where he's he no sells the first stomp or first like two stomps, and then like it wears him out eventually, but like he doesn't actually get Seth's not getting the win. You know what I mean? On the house, he's getting like a disqualification.
That's
win or
what they
something.
did after Raw.
Because
But
he's fucking boring. That's
they
why.
gave a few more stomps and Bray just did the disappear act.
Yeah, but I heard that
They
lights
failed
were
on
too-
doing
The
that.
lights were too bright, so everybody
They
saw
turned
it
him
right
back
away.
on.
You know what's great though, for as bad as Seth Rollins has been as a champion, as a babyface champion at that,
Yeah.
his selling of the fear of Bray Wyatt is fucking fantastic.
Oh,
Yes,
it's definitely-
100%.
definitely
We said that
selling
last
well.
week too.
Yeah, it's not hard for him to do that though. One,
His
the Fiend
face-
is fucking scary. Two, it's
Yeah.
fucking pitch black. He also has Braun Strowman in the ring who could probably snap him like a twig. And then all he did was watch the old tapes of Kane and Undertaker in the Hell in the Cell against Shawn Michaels. It was like, holy shit, that's all I got to do? Done.
Yeah.
It's the
I don't
same
know, man.
facial expression. The exact same thing. Except Seth Rollins is sitting down like an asshole, and Undertaker stood up to his face to his own brother.
Listen. I think he's selling it great, but it doesn't instill confidence in you that the babyface is going to triumph. You know, he's not out there giving any of these rah speeches like I'm going to take it to him. And
I mean, look what
he's-
Braun did after he got laid out initially. Got right in Bray's face.
Yeah, which is fantastic. I think.
Oh, I love that touch.
I
That it
think,
took
you know,
another.
Again, he was another. Braun is another what if, where if he just had the title for a little bit in the last 2 years, he would be a made guy. Like he would already be a made guy. I don't know.
Should have.
Should have.
Another woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah, and if he the thing is, if he beats Seth, then you definitely know he was going to lose to Bray.
Yeah.
That would have tipped it off. You know, it's just again the timing is just bad for Braun Strowman. Unfortunately, that seems to happen a lot. Is that the timing is just a little bit off?
No, it's not the time. They're just never going to put that guy over.
No, they will eventually. They have to. At some point, Braun's got to become World Heavyweight Champion.
Well, with 1 minute left, do you guys still feel like the Fiend's taking the Universal title?
Absolutely.
He has to.
There's no. I mean, listen. Unless Rollins gets himself disqualified, I mean, Bray can't lose.
How could you do that in a Hell?
It's a
Oh, that's right. It's Hell in a Cell. What I'm saying. Yeah, there's absolutely no fucking way in hell Bray
Technically,
loses.
I mean,
If
when Braun
Bray,
cashed in his Money in the Bank inside a Hell in a Cell against Reigns, Brock interrupted and ended the match.
yeah, but there is no Money in the Bank. If Bray does not win this match, they have ruined everything that they have done so far with Bray, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even be in this situation.
How could the face of the company be the Fiend?
How could he lose, dude? There's no way he loses already as the Fiend.
If he loses, it kills the mystique of the Fiend.
Yeah, you can't.
It kills the Fiend.
He's got to be undefeated for a long time.
He shouldn't be challenging for the title.
Sam,
We would still watch the Fiend. We would still buy his merchandise, whether or not he has the world title.
are you playing devil's advocate right now, or are you seriously sitting there saying that he should fucking lose?
Cheer.
you
All right,
fucking asshole.
but do you know what my fear is? My fear is Bray Wyatt beats the dick off of Rollins in the Hell in a Cell and crashes him into every wall and throws him through a table and all this and bullshit. And right at the end...
Yeah, in the dark where you can't see anything.
So here's what... But right at the end, he puts his fucking hands up to his ears and he puts down Hurt and the answer is heel and he just fucking walks away.
What?
Oh.
That's awesome.
Because he's got Hurt and he's got heel, and he only ever listens to the one that says Hurt.
When he's inside that cell, he is going to hurt, kill, and go to hell.
But my fear is...
I see what you're saying.
The puppets are even saying, "Oh, we like Seth Rollins." Yeah, man, don't kill Seth Rollins.
Fuck the puppets.
That's the internal struggle he's going to go through. He's not going to know which hand to listen to. What if he listens to heel?
No. The Fiend has to win. He has to win.
That is always an option. They've given themselves an out that whenever he listens to heel, he stops.
That's what I think is great, is the dichotomy. I love it.
I don't even want him to be champion right now, but we're in this situation. He has to win.
He should not be champion 3 months into a fucking gimmick. No way.
He shouldn't be in a title match in the first place, but this is where we are.
He's the one thing that's drawing ratings.
It's this Tuesday
but that's
in
why
Texas
he has
with
to
the
win.
Undertaker.
Right, but you put on the belt on him.
They put themselves into a corner now.
You're going to ruin it.
Yeah, they've booked themselves into a corner no matter what. Unless Bray Wyatt beats Seth Rollins so decisively and then does, after the bell rings, hurts him so much that Stephanie or Triple H come out the next night and strip him of the title because...
I'm telling you, the Fiend does not go over. The Fiend doesn't go over.
I feel like with the way the graphics are going, he's taking over the show little by little.
Yeah.
So like last week they had an upside down graphic and like some of this shit was wonky. This week he was in
the intro to Raw. Yeah.
The intro to Raw was all fucked up. So if he wins,
it should be like that. I like that.
It could be
That's great.
Yeah.
But he should not have the Universal title.
I agree, but this is where we are.
This is what we're hearing at the end of Hell in a Cell.
I certainly hope so.
I also love at the end of the announcer goes, "See you in hell."
I know.
Yeah, when he goes, "See you in hell," so happy about it.
Yeah, I love the get serious, then switches right back to happy.
At the end of the day, and we've been saying this for weeks ever since this whole deal has come to fruition, is that Bray Wyatt is 100% gold with this character. He is so good. His acting is incredible. And it's all him. It's all his ideas. He's the one that came up with this whole thing. He collaborated with The Undertaker. Then they got serious and they got the Night of the Living Dead people to create this ridiculously scary mask. I mean, it's just everything about it works. And unfortunately, WWE... this is the biggest thing going. The boner hits, and right away they got to throw the title on him and put him in the situation. We shouldn't be in it, but we are. He has to win the title. Now, one thing I will say, we talk about Brock and how we don't need to see him all the time because he's nostalgic. They can kind of do that with The Fiend. Once he wins the title, you have a lot of Firefly Funhouses, and it keeps him there with the title and this and that. And The Fiend, you're not going to really see much until a pay-per-view event. I think we should start to see less Fiend if he becomes the champion. And you know what I mean? Like, little things here and there, of course, but what do you guys think of that? And then we should wrap because we're into SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, I think he doesn't have to defend the title every week. That's not, if he's present, if he's doing spooky shit, if the puppets show up and scare people, as long as he has some sort of presence, you wouldn't mind. But there has to be, like, semi-weekly. He's got to be there.
Right. It can't be. You're overdoing it right now. And obviously, there's some in the pay-per-view and the title, but you're overdoing it. We need him in snippets. We need him once in a while so we keep our interest. And when he shows up, he should continue to just kill everybody.
Well, see, and I agree with that because we got 3 Firefly Funhouses last week, and then we got Fiend in the end. We actually shouldn't have seen Fiend at all this week and just done the Firefly Funhouse. So I agree. I think it's a little much, but at the same time, it's always such a home run that I always want to see it. I always want to see what's going to be next. But I think we have to, once he wins the title, I think that's how it should be. And it'll, but we'll see. Listen, I know we're at the top of the hour. SmackDown started, so we got to wrap it up. I just want to say, listen, if you're listening and you are a fan of tagmeadate.com and the website and the apps, we are aware there are a ton of issues going on. We do apologize. We are in the midst of working with some new people to help us get everything up and running properly. Any questions, you can always email us at askthewarreport.com, and we will be sure. And then, of course, tune in every week. And we'll give you updates as we get them. It's going to take a little bit, so just bear with us. We want to make sure we give you guys the best product possible and that it works for you guys just like it worked for Ryan and his wife, who we heard that story. So, Vince, I'll give it to you to wrap it up, and that's it.
All right, it sounds good. So we are live every Tuesday right here on, oh, goodness, now we got YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. I think those are the big 3 we're on.
Those are where we're live.
So you can look for the War Report, search for it there. The best way to know that we're live is by going to youtube.com. You type in tag me a date. No spaces, tag me a date. All one word in the search bar, and you'll go to our, you'll find our YouTube account on our page. Hit subscribe, hit the bell. That way when we go live or upload a video, you'll get a little ringy dingy. You'll get a notification on your phone. And bloop, they're going live, so you can tap on it and watch along. If you prefer an audio version, we are on, SoundCloud, Google Podcast Repository, Apple iTunes Podcasts, Stitcher, SoundCloud maybe? Did I already say that one?
No, you're good.
Okay, was that everything?
That was everything. You're good.
All right, and you look for the War Report, you look for Tag Me a Date, whatever. One way
Search
or
it
another.
under Tag Me a Date.
There you go. So find them. That's how you find them on the podcast. That's if you want the audio version, you can download and listen to it. If you have a question for us, you can find us on social media at Tag Me a Date. You can also send us an email, askthewarreport@gmail.com. If you have a question that you'd like us to ask on the show, or just general inquiry. So that's all the ways to find us. At Tag Me a Date on social media, Twitter, Instagram.
And we will get to all your questions once we get Amanda and Kat back on, so we can go through them all.
Absolutely. They are our
Break up the
questions.
sausage fest.
Yeah, they tend to our questions, and they do a good job. We would fuck it up. If we were the ones to do it, we'd just fuck it up so badly. So, we'll leave it to them. But we'll come back next week live, 7 p.m. on Eastern Time. Adjust accordingly for wherever you are in the world. So we'll be back next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube and Twitch and Facebook. We will see you then. Thank you for watching.